Well, hey, girl, hey. This is Elvany Riggins, your relationship coach, mentor, or contributor to all things relationships in love and romance. When it comes down to women and conversations about relationships, I'm your girl. I love to talk about relationships, you guys. And today I just want to have an open dialogue about a conversation about relationships, So I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm just I'm just a woman that has experienced relationships just like you. And I have been through so many different challenges. I have been a wife, a girlfriend. I have been a divorced woman, a single mom. I have been it all, dating, not dating, trying to figure it out. And I have come to understand that relationships are challenging, right? They require a whole lot of work, okay? It's no easy way to say it. Relationships require work, especially when you're new to relationships. You're just getting in a relationship or you're just getting out of a relationship. It's all new. But what happens is you bring in all of that baggage, all of that baggage from the past. When you were that single woman and you was trying to figure it out, or when you was dating and you was trying to figure it out, or you was married and you got a divorce and you're trying to figure it out, you bring all of that stuff with you in the beginning, right? You bring it with you. It's all on your back and you're trying to figure out how to decipher between who's a good person or how you want to show up or getting to know yourself again because you're divorced, or how do you want to experience this relationship that you're in or you're looking forward to having in the future. And you got all these questions in your head and you're trying to figure it out. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work for you to know thyself. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It takes a lot of work for you to know thyself. Becoming so self-aware, becoming understanding of who you are today, not yesterday or in the past, but who you are today as a new person, because every day is a chance to be someone different than you were yesterday or be better than you were yesterday. Maybe you didn't show up your best. Maybe you made some bad decisions in the past. Well, I want you to know that today you get a chance to do it over. Let's just say not do it over. Let's just say today you get an opportunity to start over, okay? And to do things differently than you did yesterday, the day before, and the day before, okay? Listen, I don't care what nobody tell you. You are not your decisions. Your decisions are only an extension of the thoughts and the behavior that you acted upon those thoughts, okay? So you are not your decisions. If you made some bad decisions, that does not make you a bad person, okay? So that's the reason why I don't agree when people say you are your decisions. No, because my decisions can be reflected, influenced, because I am in a bad situation. So if you're in a bad situation, you can make some very bad decisions, or you can be making decisions and you are not fully aware of the conditioning or the outcome or the circumstances that you're putting yourself upon or in, because you are not thinking. Your mind is not where it needs to be because you are engulfed with problems, stress, negativity, toxic, all these things, overwhelmed. Don't you know that when you're stressed, you are not capable of making really clear, defined decisions? That's the reason why you are not your decisions. Your decisions are only an extension of the thoughts and the behaviors played out based upon those thoughts, those behaviors. Okay, your decision is a behavior, is a thought played out. Okay, you are not your decisions. So I totally disagree. Some people agree, but I disagree. Okay, because I know that just because I make a bad decision, that doesn't make me a bad person. Just because I act out of rage at a particular moment, and that's a decision that I made, that doesn't mean I'm in my right mind. So that doesn't mean a outrageous, crazy person. So we have to be careful what we put ourselves upon, what we allow to speak upon ourselves, and what we allow other people to speak upon us, because we will attach ourselves to different outcomes, and we want to know why our relationships and all our lives are so messed up. One thing I do want to say is that we have to take accountability for us, and that if we're in bad relationships, it's because we chose to be in those relationships, okay? We chose those relationships. We attracted those relationships towards us. So we have to be accountable for the decisions that we made in those relationships, or when we were making the decision to attach ourselves to those relationships. And the biggest question you must ask yourself is, why did I choose that? Why did I bring that into my life? Why did I attract that into my life? And that brings about a lot of other questions. You have to go back and you have to search within yourself. What is it that you need to heal, acknowledge, or transform, alchemize, or what have you, to create something different, to get a different outcome? And you know, a lot of people don't believe in healing, but I do believe that if you have unforgiveness in your heart, and you can't forgive a person, it can hinder you from being able to move forward into having a great relationship. If you are stuck, and if you are stuck in unforgiveness, that means it's a part of you that has not let go, is not able to let go, not willing to let go, that is hurt, that is either bitter, or that is really angry and has a grudge or something in your heart that you're not able to release that person. And remember, forgiveness is not for that person. It is actually for you first. And so if you can't be willing to forgive, how can you move forward to have loving, healthy, supportive relationships in your life, right? You're walking around bitter, you're broken. And you need to heal whatever it is inside of you that won't allow you to move on. Because sometimes when we walk in unforgiveness, it really flows from outward. It's inside, but it flows outwardly. And people can feel that. People can feel that you have something that is pulling or nagging at you that you're not able to let go of. And people don't want to be in that. People don't want to be, you know, I'm gonna say it like this. It actually causes people to not be attracted to you when they can feel negative energy that you have. And so when you're talking about creating loving, healthy, supportive relationships, if you have something that you're fighting or you battling with, it's hard to move forward when you're still struggling with some things. And we all have things that we struggle with. But I'm talking about those things that are obvious, that we struggle with in our relationships, that keep us really from being the happy person that we need to be, so that we can bring that joy and spread it into our relationship. And so I don't understand when people say that they can't forgive, or that they don't think that healing is necessary. I think that we all need to be healed from something. But I don't think that you have to be completely healed. Completely healed, meaning that all areas have to be healed in order for you to go into a new relationship. I just think that you need to be aware and willing to go through the healing process and to connect with yourself and better understand who you are and what you need to get in tune with, the things that you really need to work on, because they're going to show up in your relationship. No doubt about it. They're going to show up. So if you think that you got it all together, 9 times out of 10, you don't. Because when you start realizing you're having difficulties in your new relationship, that lets you know that some things back there didn't work out right. You didn't fix it. So as you begin to evolve Yes, you will find new problems show up, okay? Because you grow in stages and levels, okay? As we mature from childhood to teenage, we grow out of some things. As when I was a child, I did childish things, but as I grow up, I learn and I do better, right? But you still are growing every day. And as you grow, you're going to be challenged with things from time to time in your relationship. And it doesn't matter what the challenge is going to be, just know that you will be challenged. But the question is, how are you going to deal with the challenge? How are you going to show up? You know, are you going to act like the child that you did when you was 6? Or are you going to be the adult you and deal with your issues? A lot of times we can say that we don't have a problem. We don't want to address ourselves as having a problem because we feel like we have arrived or we don't have problems, which we do. And let's be honest, if you are in a relationship where you're not happy, you're not content, you're doing things outside of your relationship that you're hiding from your partner, if you are engaging in affairs with other people, if you are hiding the truth, you're not speaking your truth, meaning you're not speaking what you truly feel in your heart to your partner. If you are not sharing with your partner your concerns, your wants, your needs, you're not meeting the negotiables that you know that you have, or the things that are non-negotiables in your relationship you are accepting, there's a problem. There's some things that you need to heal within yourself if you are allowing all of these things to happen. Why are you allowing these things to happen if you got it all together? That's a sign that you don't. And that's the problem in relationships. People don't recognize their own patterns and they deny it. And it's staring them in the face and they're denying it. Well, it's called a blind spot. I have them. I don't see my true self. In my relationship, my partner can say, hey, you are being disrespectful. You are not being honest. You are stonewalling me. You are ignoring me. You are, it could be all kinds of things that can be said to you from your partner, and you may not ever identify that this is happening in your relationship until your partner brings it to your attention and you are at a point where you're ready to acknowledge it. You have to be ready to acknowledge it. Your partner can share all these things about you, and you can really deny these things. But until you have your own awareness and you become aware of your own self, that's the beginning of going through the phase to being able to fix what is broken. It's the acknowledgement. When you are able to acknowledge the true essence of what you are struggling with in your relations to people that you're in relationship with, the things that they share, you're willing to listen, you're willing to allow them to elaborate, you're willing to hear without turning a deaf ear, you're willing to allow them to share their feelings, you are willing to have a conversation, an open dialogue, not just a one-way conversation, but have an open dialogue so you can get a greater understanding to what they experience from you, okay? You're not able to see all of your issues, but it does require you to get to know yourself. When someone has acknowledged that there's a great problem that you show them in the relationship, that they say you are showing up in a not so good way, and you're willing to sit back and listen and accept what they're saying to you and have an open dialogue, you're ready to go down the journey to transitioning, getting rid of some things, transmuting some of that energy that's not working, that's negative, or that's working against you. Because sometimes we do operate in some things that we don't even realize that we're operating in our relationships, and we're throwing, I don't want to say throwing, but we're putting out this energy that is causing all of this confusion in your relationship, and you don't even realize that it's there. But once you get humbled, and I say the word humble because I think that it takes an humble person to be willing to listen, first of all, and to want to really identify what a person is saying that they experience with you. I think that's great maturity that you can come into when you're able to sit down and say, I didn't realize I was doing that to you, or I didn't realize that this was happening, or how I was showing up in the relationship. I really don't understand that. I don't see it, but I'm willing to listen, and I'm really willing to examine myself so I can show up differently. Because if you don't ever do that, then you're not willing to learn. You're not willing to change. And a lot of times our relationships are just recycling, different person, but same situations, recycling, because we're not willing to sit with ourselves and learn thyself. So the message here today is learn thyself. Before you point the finger, you better know that you got 3 other fingers. When I'm pointing at you, I'm like, you. I got 3 other fingers that's pointing right back at me. So it's important that I understand that I'm no perfect and I'm no better than you. I can identify that you see things clearly on the outside better than I can, because I am the person that's standing in the midst of it. So the person on the outside can see your flaws better than you can. And when a person has addressed to you that they see you and it doesn't look good, it's not all glorious, it's gloom and doom for them, you should be willing to learn thyself. Be more self-aware. And it's not easy to do. It's a struggle. It's a struggle for me to really understand and be able to identify things that I do actively in my relationship that causes conflict. And I'm willing to share with you that it takes you to humble yourself, truly humble yourself, and take in the negative. I mean, the person may not have any positive to say about what they're experiencing, but willing to take that in as a learning curve to be able to learn how you've been showing up in the relationship so you can do it differently. And that changes the game when you can humble yourself and truly listen to your partner's heart. Listen to them. I mean, like, listen. Even if you think that you don't have a problem, listen, because there may be something there for you to learn. It's not always going to be glorious and fun and loving and woo, everything is good in relationships. You're going to have some bad days. You're going to have a lot of good days and you're going to have a lot of bad days. But you're going to be able to perfect your relationship the more and more that you sit down and get to know yourself. And the one thing that I want to tell you today, before I end this video, that you are the best solution for change to produce loving, healthy, supportive relationships in your life. You are the best solution. It's not your partner that can create a loving relationship. They only add extra value to it. But you are the key essence to creating that for yourself. You have the key. You are your best solution. Stop looking for it outside of you, but look within. And once you get to know who you are, then you can create the best relationship you ever had. And that's the story. That is the essence of everything. Learning thyself. Knowing who you are, knowing what you need, knowing what you want, and knowing how to love yourself enough to give yourself what you need and what you want. Loving yourself enough to hear. Loving yourself enough to say, I understand, I get it. I need to change that and work through that. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's like I'm taking it one step at a time, and I'm willing to learn. And once you're willing to learn, you on your way to perfecting a relationship with yourself and creating a change in the relationship you have with your partner. It's not going to change instantly. And also just know that there's no perfect relationship. You just perfect what you learn every day as you work through it. And do know that relationships are constantly evolving. Like, it's a revolving door. Today, you're experiencing this together. Tomorrow, you're experiencing something else. So it's like turning the page. Every day, you're turning the page. And there's going to be something new every single day. So don't look for your relationship to be the same. That's boring. But look for something new every day. Like, how am I going to add value to my partner today? How can I become a better lover today? How can I make this relationship more fun? Today, what can I do to make him laugh? What can I do today to make him smile? You know, you look for the life in the relationship, and you are the lifeline of the relationship, but you look for adding value to your relationship every day. Easier said than done, but it's something that we all should practice. Like, what can we do every day differently to show our partners that we really love them, to spark up some positive into our relationship so that it can change or transition where we are from okay to great, and from great to amazing. You know, that's where we want to go. We want to go from good to amazing, wonderful, outstanding. We want a beautiful relationship. And it's going to take work. And if you're not willing to put the work in, then you're not willing to have a great relationship. So you might as well just end it now, because it's not going to be great. It's not going to be amazing if you're not willing to do the work. But if you're willing to do the work, and you're willing to be patient in your growth, because you're not going to learn everything like clockwork. It's going to take time. And every day as you turn that page, it gets better and better and better and better. But you have to learn thyself. Got to learn thyself. That's something that I'm working on. I'm really, really working on learning myself. I got a divorce. And when I got my divorce, I was so confused, so confused. I mean, like, everything in my world was just a big cloud. And I said, I can't make one step forward until I get this fog out of my head and I begin to connect with myself. Like, I needed to feel good about where I was in my life. I needed to feel good about who I was and how I was showing up and the things that I was doing. I had to feel good about life before I could say that I'm the best version of myself. And I wasn't, honestly saying that when you go through changes in your relationship or even in your life with your health, you may not be the best version of yourself. But once you get back on board and you begin to realize, I have not been the best version of myself, but today I'm ready to get on board. And when you decide you're ready to get on board, don't let nobody, and I mean nobody, tell you anything different. Don't let anybody discourage you and tell you that you're not a good person or you can't have that good relationship because you made some terrible decisions. You made some bad choices back then and you can't come back from that. Yes, you can. Today is a new day. You get to do life over, okay? No, I hate to say do life over because you don't get a chance to go back then. But what you do get a chance to do is you get to start again today. So if you got a bad relationship that you're in, meaning your marriage is falling apart or you're about to transition out of a relationship and you're about to become single, or you are single and you are deciding that I'm ready to fix me and I'm ready to have a better relationship, then hey, let's work on that, okay? And say, I'm not going to be the same person I was yesterday or the day before or last year, last month. I'm going to be somebody different. And the only way you can do it is that you got to learn thyself. So the subject here, the topic is to learn thyself. Get to know thyself, because you are the best solution for change to produce loving, supportive relationships in your life. And I wish you all the best. Check me out, as I will be posting more videos on my YouTube channel. Share, like, comment, and ask me some questions. I really want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts. I want to hear some comments. Ask me some questions. Whatever you want to know, I'm here to talk. I'm here to share. I'm a contributor, and that's what I like to do. And I want to contribute to your relationship. But know this, I can't give you the answer. I can only give you a thought. And I can only give you some guidance that may provoke something inside of you, that may make you want to think about what kind of changes that you may need to experience or you may want to do. It's just all a thought. It's just contribution, because I love everything relationships. I love relationships. I think it's a beautiful thing to have. And I think that people are not designed to be alone. I don't think we were brought into this world to live life by ourselves. I think we all, at some point, should have the joy of having a partner at least once in a lifetime. And if you choose to be single, that's you. And there's nothing wrong with being single. I'm just saying that if you decide that you're a person that wants to have a partner, wants to enjoy or experience a relationship, then come and watch my channels as I begin to unfold and deep dive more into conversations about relationships. I see you soon.